Hello, all. Welcome back. Today we are going to understand in detail about the context API and use context. Yesterday in the last session, okay, I got some comments like the volume is very low. So if in case if you didn't understand with that low volume, at least I will try to explain, revise what we have learned yesterday one more time, and then we are going to understand if you have multiple context and how to deal with that. Also, we are going to learn. I hope this volume is clear for you, if I'm not wrong. Okay, thank you. So here, suppose if we have two components, like this is app component, is a root component, and we have created component E and component B. Suppose if you want to send some information from this app component to A, so with the help of props, you can pass it. And from A to B, you can pass with the help of props. Suppose, but you have the four components like this: A, B, C, D, and B is a child of A, and C is the child of B, and D is a child of C. So in that situation, okay, how to pass the information from the root component, suppose from app component to this low level component called D directly without passing through A, B, C, and D. So one way is you can pass first from app to A through props, again from A to B, again props, again with the help of props you can pass it, and again with the help of props you can pass it. So this is called as a drilling the through props, but it's really difficult, and it's not a good way. So we have the context, right? We have a context. So what we are doing, so we are going to store some information in the context, and we are going to attach this context with the help of provider to the root component. That's your wish, whether you want to attach to app component or whether you want to attach to like component B. So if you attach to the B, only C and D, like what are the childrens are there for that particular component, are going to consume, they can consume that the context. So here, for as in a beginner flow, we can create a context and we can attach the a root component, so that anyone in our application, any component in our application can access that information from the context. So here today I'm going to construct this structure like four components, and B is a child of A, and C is a child of B, and D is going to be child of C, and we can create a context, and let's see how we can access the information directly from the context to a component D or C or B or A. Okay, everything is same, the same process. So for that, what we need to do, we need to create a context, and context will provide two things, that is provider, another one is the consumer. Okay, so if you want to attach the context to any root component, we need to take help from a provider, and if you want to consume the information from the context, we are going to use this consumer. So right now in we are using hooks, so that with the help of use context we can do it very simply. Okay, it's very simplified. So we are going to learn all these things, and then in the next half, suppose if you have a multiple context, so I just create another context, and I want to attach to the app component itself, and again that this component D wants to access some information from this context, and at the same time he wants to get some information from this context also. Yes, that is possible. You can create n number of context. Okay, either you can do like this also. Suppose the context, one context you just attach to the app component, and one context you can attach to the B component B, so that only the C and D can access the information in this context. So this is very interesting, so that we are going to understand how this cart, okay, Amazon, like all these e-commerce applications are maintaining the cart, right? So we are going to understand and we are going to implement that very, very soon. So now jump into the code and just construct the component tree in that way. Okay, so right now in the list today we have created a multiple component, but we have used only components. I just applied some margin and padding and like some border, so that you can easily recognize that the A is a part of app component and B is a part of component A. Like that we can construct C and D also now itself. So I'm going to remove everything, and I'm going to explain one more time, because maybe you didn't understand with that low volume yesterday. I hope now it is clear. Just ping me in the comment section that whether you are able to listen properly or not. Okay, fine. So already we have a component A, component B, and component C, and component D. So now I'm going to import component B to component A. That's already done. So component A, we are using component B, okay, here. And in component B, I want to import component C. So here I'm just removing all these things. So yeah, please practice along with me so that it's easy for you. So in component B, we need to import component C. Where is that component C? It's not showing. Component C from, okay, component C. So you can just add nothing, just add a div and just put some heading that your component C, and just place, sorry, this is component B and we are using component C inside that, and just add some CSS, just nothing, just border, padding and margin, and I'm just making it as a flex. So that's, so I'm going to add to each and every component. So just added some border, 1 pixel solid black, margin 10 pixel, padding 10 pixel, display flex. Nothing more than that. So now B is a part of A and C is part of B. And now just go to the C and import D. Import component D from component D. Just use this inside the component and just add the same styles. Okay, and just go to component C, we should add it. At the same time, go to the component D. So we don't have any child for the component D. That is fine. Let's see how it is looking. If you see, yeah, this is the root app component, and the component B is a part of component A, component C is a part of component B, and component D is part of component C. So the spelling mistake is there. And the component D, this is the component. So now we just created this structure. So now we can go and add some context, and we are going to learn how to use it. Okay. Let me remove, like, just remove this one A, B, because we are not going to do anything with ABC. So directly we can access the information from the context to D. So then let's use that. So here app component. So yesterday we have created the user context. I'm just removing that so that I will explain everything one more time for you. Okay, fine. Let's see. This is a structure, simple structure. We have a four components, and B is a part of A, C is a part of B, and D is a part of C. And if you want to pass any information, yes, you, with the help of props, you can pass information from component A to B, and B to C, and C to D, because these are maintaining parent and child relationship. Okay, fantastic. So now without using props, directly, if you have information in the app component, directly we can access from the component D. Okay, let's see how we can do that. For that, you can create the context. So we have a context, user context.ts. Okay, it's better to take first character also capital letter, so user context.ts. So here I'm just going to create everything from the scratch. Okay, I hope you are able to listen. Hope my voice is clear. So right now I don't have a proper mic. Let's just wait. So user context dot JS file. Right now we are not going to add any JSX, like we are not adding any HTML kind of thing. So we are creating a user context dot JS file. Simple. So now just import React from the React library. Okay, just React. So normally it's a small letter. Don't worry. And now create it. Okay, constant our is a user context, right? Because we need to store some user login user details. So this React library is providing a method create context. So something went wrong. Why it is not showing? Just a minute. Import React from React. It's not a capital letter. It's React dot. It should show the intelligence, right? It is not showing. Anything wrong? Anything wrong? Save it. User context, yes. Just let me one more time. Sometimes I don't know. Import React from React. Yeah, this is the statement. User context. And now you can create constant user context is equal to this React dot. It's not showing. I don't know. Okay, let's do it. React dot create context. So just use a proper spelling. If it doesn't work, I will cross check one more time. So initially I'm just giving a guest, GUEST. So if you don't have any value, if you don't provide any value, by default it will provide the text as a guest. So it's like a simple use a state. So you can store a number, you can store a string, you can store an object, you can store like array, anything. So and just export it. Just export this one so that you can use outside. So this user context have two things like this: provider and consumer. So where you want to where you want to attach that the context. So I want to attach it to the root level, that is app component. So here this is a user context, the first context what we are creating, user context. And here by default we are storing the information as a guest, but we are going to change the value here while providing that information. So here just import it, import. So from the components forward slash user context. Okay, here the context name is user context. So here I didn't use default exports. That's why if named exports, okay, if you want to import it, you should use it like this. Okay, what is this is declared but it's never values. Okay, no problem, I will use it now. So here what we need to do, we need to wrap this app component, that root component, with this user context. Okay, for that, so what you need to do, just create user context dot provider. Okay, and whatever you are going to written in that component, just put inside that provider so that it will attach that context to app component. That so just putting. So here nothing is there, the simple div inside we are just imported a component A and we are using that. So here one more step is there pending, that is you should provide the value. So Okay, default value we have given guest, but here you can give the login details. Normally, in any application, if you just once you log in, okay, we will maintain that information in the context or the Redux store, and we will wrap is to a root component so that anyone can access it. Anyone can access. So why it's showing an error? Already included file. Already included. Where I have included that file? Nothing. Already included file name, user context differ from file name, user context. Okay, I think so. We have changed the from small letter to capital letter. That's why it is just getting a conflict because even though we have removed that, just let me put it one more time. Not sure why it is showing error. User context. So otherwise, if still is just thinking that it is a small letter, otherwise just let me know why user context. I did properly. Okay, for now, actually it's not error, but I'm not sure why it is throwing error. So make it a small letter itself. User context. So now he's happy. Maybe some reason behind that. Okay, let's discuss about that later. So here this is a user context. Okay, file name is we created a file name with a small letter, and but context you can create with a capital letter. Okay, that's fine. Now it's fine. So now, yeah, we have attached the information. So by default value was guest, but now the value is Raghu. So logged in details is Raghu. Okay, you can access that information from the component called D. So let's go to the component D because I don't want to drill it down with the help of props from T to B and B to C and C to D. Okay, directly I can access the information from the context with the help of consumer. So here again, just import because whatever the component, whatever the context you want to use it, just we should import it again. From uh, just I think everything is there in the same folder. Just write as a user context. And what is that context name? The user context. That's fantastic. So now we have two options. Okay, yesterday I've explained without using use context and with help of use context. And with we need to use context because right now we are in 2023. We are using hooks, so that it's better to use the hooks. It's very simple. So now I want to consume the information which is there in the user context. So for that, we need to take help from another hook. Okay, from React. The hook name is use context. This is very simple. So just go with the constant and value, whatever the value is there in the user context, just mention that is a user context. Just provide the context name to that use context. It is going to fetch that information from user context for us. So that's fine. That's it. Done. We got the data. So just place that information here. Okay. Suppose here I'm just putting h2 and just add that with help of curly braces. Let's see whether we are able to see the information or not. Yes, fantastic. So that information is there in the app component, the user context, and without taking help of component A, B, and C, directly you can access that information today. So it's like suppose this is a central government, this is a state government, this is a district government, this is a mandal, this is a village. Suppose if central government wants to send some money or funds to the village. So previously we used to send So we will get, suppose that funds will get transferred to the state government, then state government will distribute that money to the district government, and then they will send it to the mandal, then it will reach the village. Okay, now there is a chance that a lot of corruption in the real time. So now what's happening, the central government is sending funds directly to the villages. So you can correlate that with the help of context. Okay, so fine, I hope you guys understood now how to use a context. You can create a context like this, and you can wrap that provider on any top level. So either you want to, suppose if you want to provide that information to each and every component in the component tree in the app or application, just attach to the app component. But some situations you don't want to just provide this information to a and the app component. Suppose you want to specify that you can provide that information to particularly one small DOM tree. That's fine. You can attach that context to that particular context. So now let's see. First, we can create a multiple context and we can wrap to the same app component, and we can consume it from C or D. Then I will show you how to wrap one context to the middle tree, and we can handle it. So now we understand one context, that is called user context. So now I'm going to create another context, that is the theme context. Normally we used to apply themes, right? The dark mode or light mode. So normally we will take help from the context to maintain that theme for application. So you can, based on that theme, if you want to apply any styles in a child components, we can take help from the context. So let's see. So if you want to create the another context, so here theme context context.js. So simple. How we have done here, I'm just copying. So please don't copy. Please create it. So here I'm just, to save some time, I'm just copying, but please. Okay. So dark mode context, that dark mode, that's it. You can export it. Now I'm going to attach this to a same the root level, because for Amazon, suppose if you see user details, suppose here hello Raghavendra. So this is my first name. So from any component in the Amazon, if you want to access, if you want to display this name, definitely we need to provide that in a context, right? So in the same way, themes also. Fine. So here I'm doing both the things. So import um, from, this is very important. Please do practice components forward slash the file name. I hope I just added same folder, or I did any mistake. Okay, I hope I just added the theme context outside. So just drag it inside that folder. That's my mistake. So now hopefully it is there in a components folder. This is like the theme context. That's it. So how to wrap two context for a same component? So nothing, don't worry, it's very simple. So this is what the JSX of app component, right? So we need to wrap inside the two contexts. So already we have done one context. So inside that, just go with that again. So theme context dot provider, theme context dot provider. So now what we need to do, just move this our JSX of the app component inside the theme form. So now what first we have wrapped user context and again theme context. So how interesting, right? Hope you love it. This is very Simple. So even if you have a 10 context, so you can wrap like this. So again, just provide the value. Of course, we have provided the default value as dark mode. So again, I'm just providing the actual value also dark mode. So now let's see. So previously we just accessed that information from the component D. So now we can go and read that information from component C. So just import. First, what we need to import? Okay, we need that our theme context also, right? In context, and we need to import our hook from React. What is a hook? React, that is use context. Simple. So context, the value, what is the whatever that is, whether it's an object or a string or something. So here I'm just doing use context and just pass that information of the context, the provider. Okay, that's the theme context. And here you can say I'm, I'm going to use the dark mode, CSS mode, like I just simply just attaching that. Save it. Go to the application. So now if you see, so we are able to access the information from the theme context from component C. So component D is utilizing the user context details and component C is utilizing the theme context details. Simple. So suppose if you want to attach this theme context or like user context, or if you create, you can create any other context, and if you want to attach to the mid of any component tree, just create that file and import into that component and just try. That's assignment for you. So once you attach any, suppose the context wallets, if you attach this context to the B, okay, how to attach it? Just go to the component B. Just go to the component B. What you need to do? Import the the new context and wrap with the help of context provider and provide some value. So then what will happen? That context information is available only for C and D, and test it whether you are able to access from A or not. So in this reverse direction, it's not possible. It's not possible. So you can access below the tree, because if this is the parent, only children can access the context information if you attach to the B. So that is assignment for you. So please do practice, and once you have done a practice, once you understand this concept, just click on that like button, and in the comment section just let me know whether you understand it or not. So without doing practice you can't understand. So if you understand means you should do practice. Thank you and see you in the next session. Bye bye.